watching other people's social medias and seeing the lives that they lead, what they do in the day to day, and what they choose to present leaves me with only one question, my brother.
What's the question?
What are you even doing with your life?
That's a great question.
I don't get it. I don't. You're not making money. You're working for somebody else. You have abilities and qualities that you don't excel and show to other people because you're afraid. And you sit there and live a subpar existence that is a disgrace to you, your family, your bloodline, and just downright disrespectful to you and to everybody who you could have a positive impact on. Why are you doing what you're doing? Because I don't even understand what you're doing. And I know for a fact that you don't either.
And I feel like whenever we have these bolder takes, these more brute takes, we get comments that are like, yeah, I need to change. But we get one every now and then, or a couple, that are like, well, I don't even want to do that. That's not the life that I want to live. I like my little stable job. That's what I like. Well, you know what? You can do what your stable job and what you just deem as such a happy life. You can take, no, be nice. That's fine.
Shove it up.
Enjoy it. But this podcast is clearly talking to a certain demographic. We're talking to people who want more out of their life. We're talking to people who want more from, their jobs, from their careers, from their business. They just want more. If you're not someone who wants more, we're not talking to you. If the shoe fits, wear it. If it doesn't, then kick rocks, because we're not talking to you. So for all those people that might hear this podcast, this particular one, and say, oh, well, this doesn't apply to me. I like living in my nice little apartment with my, girlfriend that I barely like, and with my 3 shoes, I like it. Okay, I'm glad you like it. But other people don't. We're talking to those other people. We're not talking to you. So you can go ahead and go out there with them. Now, what are you even doing with your life? I believe most people get to their 60s, their 70s, their 80s. And sad to say, they realize that they didn't live life how they really wanted it. They didn't really live life how they expected that their life was going to go. And it's sad that it takes 60, 70, 80 years for someone to figure that out when they could have been reflective in their 20s, in their 30s, figured it out then, and lived their life to the fullest from that point on. Why do we wait so long to do what we truly know that we should be doing? Because there's a difference between wanting to do something and knowing what you should do. We all know what we want to do, but I also do believe we know all too well what we should be doing.
Absolutely.
We just don't fucking do it. Some people call it conscious. Some people call it that little voice inside their head that's talking to them. It's like, hey, I should be getting up for work right now. Hey, I should go pay my bills right now. Hey, I need to go take care of these taxes. We all know what we should be doing, but we just don't do it. And some people push out what they should be doing until they're so old to where they can't do it anymore. And that's not a life that I want for me. It's not a life I want for Jose. That's not a life I want for you. Stop pushing out what you should be doing and replacing that with what you want to do. A lot of people are doing what they want to do right now, but they don't realize that what they want to do can affect the long-term stability and availability of their mental health and their life. You making these short-term decisions, thinking that it's just going to last a day or thinking that this doesn't really matter, can affect you for the rest of your life. And a lot of people don't think about that because they're like, hey, I want to go out, I want to have fun. I want to go out, I want to do drugs. I want to go out, I want to drink. But what fruit does that really bear? When you think about it, what do you get outside of a brief high, outside of a brief drunken state, outside of a brief fun time that you have with your friends? What do you get from that? Nothing. That's why you have to continuously repeat it to try to catch that feeling again, because it's not long term, it's short term. But if you continuously put in the work from this day forward, and you work, you build your brand, you build your company, you build something. It might take a while, might take 2 years, might take 3 years, might take 5 years. But then after that work is done, you might be on easy street for the rest of your life because you decided to take those long-term steps and do what you should do instead of what you wanted to do. And instead of thinking from a short-term standpoint, you thought about the end goal. You thought about the long term. And those people are the people who succeed. And they know what they're doing in life. They have a good understanding of what life is and what they want to do. People who don't know what they're doing just think about what they want to do. They think about the short term. And that's why when you see them in a couple of years, they might be saying, hey, I need some change. Do you have any?
You might have noticed while Austin was talking that there were fireworks in the background, specifically over there, behind the Zach, over there. And this podcast topic stems from something very interesting, which is a literal event that we are going through right now. It is currently the 4th of July as we are recording this podcast, and everybody is stuck in traffic. You can see the traffic clearly down the street. All the way. There is no fucking way that any of these people are getting anywhere in a timely manner. And let me explain something to you. What are you even doing with your time? Time is money, and money is time. You're choosing to drive multiple hours in traffic and watch a small, maybe 15, 20-minute entertaining fireworks show.
It's crazy.
Downtown. Mm-hmm. What are you even doing with your time? Now, I understand it's different if you have children, right? Because you're entertaining the kids. It's, you got to spend the time with your family. You might even have a girlfriend. But I was speaking with a coworker of mine the other day who's later on in his years, and he was telling me about his son who's 13, and he told him, son, you don't have time for insert word that starts with a B and ends with itches.
Wow, really?
And he told his son, you're so involved, you're in groups, you're semi-professional soccer. He's already playing semi-pro soccer. And he's like, you don't have time for itches. And his son sent her a text that night and said, my parents were right, I don't have time for you. What is he doing with his time? He's putting it into his priorities. He's seeing that, hey, I have a future in academia or in athletics. There's something that I want to pursue, and it's bigger than me. It's bigger than this small little relationships. It's bigger than this tiny little instance or what have you. And you have to realize that while everybody's out there enjoying the 4th of July, while everybody was on fucking boats, while everybody was out there getting drunk and breaking their noses and whatever, having a good old jolly time and showing off on their Instagram that I'm on a boat and I'm a little whore and whatnot and this, that, and blah, blah, blah. And the guys are like, I have a 6-pack and we have 8-packs, but we're not out there flexing it like they are. What are we doing while they're, quote unquote, enjoying their 4th of July? Well, we are out here making money. We are out here going business to business and selling one of our products. We're not here playing games. And even if we don't succeed, it doesn't matter. It's the action that's the goal, not the outcome. As James Clear says in the Atomic Habits, make the action the goal, not the outcome. Because when you're too hyper fixated on the outcome, you'll never be able to put in the work that you need to put in on a day in and day out basis. Because none of these things happen fast. And that's what people don't realize. Austin and I sat here listening to Larry June after we were seeing everybody at the lake on their boats. And you know what I told you? I didn't need to tell you this, but you already knew it. It's just a figure of speech. They're on barges and platform boats on a lake. But where are we going to be on our yachts, Austin?
Lake Como.
Lake Como. Italy. On yachts that are our own. There's a difference when you're on a small little lake on a barge that's not yours with small-minded people acting like you're something that you're not. And there's a difference when you're in a whole nother country, in an ocean, on your own property, doing exactly what you do every single day. What are you even doing? Are you posing to be something that you are and getting that fulfillment and satisfaction from complete disillusionment and absolute vanity with other people validating your bullshit? Or are you somebody who's self-validating because they're the ones who are actually valuable and they construct the reality and the world that they want to inhabit and they make it their own? You decide.
And you want to know how you can tell if you're actually doing shit. Because we're really talking about, what are you even doing? Are you actually doing something? Something of value. You know how you can be able to determine that? It's simple. Very, very simple. If I say, I'm going to podcast, you know what's going to happen? We're going to podcast. It's as simple as it is right there. All you have to do is make your thoughts and your words match your actions. And with a lot of these people that we see, that's the hardest thing for them to do. Because we know a lot of them who say they have a business plan. We know a lot of them who say, I have all these goals and aspirations. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I want to have my own firm. I want to have my own practice. I want to have my own company where I don't have to work for someone else. I can branch out on my own. Okay, if that's true, what the fuck are you doing about it? If that's true, why do I see you at party after party after party doing drugs after drugs after drugs with alcohol after alcohol after alcohol, and you don't do what the fuck you said you're going to do?
And didn't you also say you couldn't pay rent?
Oh, right.
Yeah. And
Didn't you say that you were having car problems?
aren't those photos from Mexico last year?
Didn't you say that you hated your job?
Oh, yeah. Wait, you got fired?
Yeah. Damn.
And now you're trying to talk to us again?
Huh.
Who
Really?
are you?
So I find that very funny, because with a lot of successful people, in my opinion, if they say, I'm going to do something, they probably had to do it. Why? Because in order to get their business how they wanted it to be and where they wanted it to eventually go, they had to do the things they said that they were going to do. But people these days, especially young people, they can't put their fucking money where their mouth is. One, because they don't even have any fucking money in the first place. Why? Because they don't fucking work. Because they don't do what the fuck they say that they're going to do. Everybody wants something. Everybody wants to be rich. Everybody wants to be, the next big person in fucking social media or some dumbass shit, right? You want to do all that. But in order to get there, it's going to take a lot of work. Like 𝐏𝐀𝐓𝐑𝒂𝒔, for instance, right? A lot of people think, oh, he just goes in there and just has fun all the time.
You know how much work Kai put in?
You know how many
still puts in?
Still
bro?
puts in? You know how much
gosh.
time he has to spend away from his family because he's streaming?
24-hour streams, bro.
For like a whole month or something, right? That's ridiculous.
Shout out to Kai.
Shout out to Kai. He's doing things that he said that he was going to do. His thoughts, his words match his actions. Most of y'all's don't. And that's why you're not where you want to be. Because you come up with the idea today and you flake on it tomorrow. You say that you're going to do something today and you go do the opposite tomorrow. You say that you're going to put in the work today and you sit your lazy ass on the couch tomorrow. And that's never going to generate anything fucking fruitful. That's just going to generate you feeling the same way that you do, being lazy, and then wishing that the world would just hand you something. But I'm going to break it to you right now. The world's never going to hand you anything. Never. Any dollar that you want to get, any fucking house, yacht, plane, fucking helicopter, anything that you want to get is going to take a lot of work. And it's going to have to take a lot of you standing on business and doing what the fuck you said that you're going to do. Because if I ask you to do something and you fail me, I'm not asking you to do that shit any fucking more. Why? Because you don't do what the fuck you said that you were going to do. And trust is a huge thing. And if I can't trust you in business, I'm not going to fucking make money with you in business. And the same thing goes with anything else in this fucking world. If you can't fucking, the universe, if God, whoever, can't trust you to do what the fuck you said you were going to do, they're not going to grant you with the things that you say you fucking want. Because you can't handle it. You're not worth it. Once you start living and doing the things that you say that you're going to do, then those gifts, those allocations, those accolades come to you. Might take a while, but they come. What quote do you have now?
I'm trying to determine how far into the rabbit hole of reality I should go. Whether I should hurt some feelings or whether I should be kind of motivational. And
You think we've been nice so far?
yeah, I do. I feel like we've been really nice. I mean, if you look back at our earlier podcast, we were very, 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 very restrained nowadays.
Yeah.
And not for nothing. Because I don't think everybody can operate under duress, and I know everybody can't. But that's why there's leaders. There's some people who operate best in their comfort zones. And I don't want this to get misconstrued in whatever it is that we're saying, but we're really not motivating anybody to do anything that they're not willing to do. We don't want somebody to live a life that they hate. The reason we want you to challenge yourself and to look at your actions in your life critically is not because we want to degrade you or make you feel like shit. We want you to feel the best you can possibly feel. We want you to succeed in life. We want you to move forward and actuate the best reality that you can possibly achieve. And in order to do that, sometimes we do have to poke you. Sometimes you do have to feel uncomfortable, because if you feel comfortable, you're not going to make a change. If you fall asleep and your arm falls asleep, you don't wake up. But if you fall asleep and you get a cramp, odds are you're waking up, because your arm falling asleep isn't as uncomfortable as getting a massive hamstring cramp. The pain has to be so unbearable in your current circumstances for you to make a change. If it doesn't hurt, you're not going to change it. That's why situationships are a very real thing. That's why people stay in relationships that they don't want to be in, because it's the easiest thing to do. You don't have to break somebody else's heart. And you also don't have to face the reality that it's not easy, nor is it non-trivial to go out and find an everlasting partner if you so desire to. None of this is easy and none of it is simple. But it's worthwhile. When you really sit there and you critically evaluate the chessboard that is your life, what the heck am I doing with my life? I'm fat, I'm overweight, I'm broke, my parents don't love me, my girlfriend doesn't respect me, or girls don't even talk to me, whatever it might be. Men don't look at me with adoration. They don't admire me. They don't ask me for my input, my insight. What is my opinion? They don't ask me, what do I do? They don't even want to talk to me. The freaking barista doesn't respect me, and I pay her. That's crazy. Well, it's supposed to hurt. It's supposed to make you depressed, and it's supposed to make you want to end yourself. Because it's so unbearable that you realize, hey, I don't even want to be here, whether it might be this situation or anything that it entails. But that's how you know you're in the right place. Because it's so bad that you can't tolerate it. So it's so intolerable and insufferable that you're going to make the monumental decision to take the actions that nobody else would take and that you wouldn't take under any other circumstance except for this one, because it becomes a do or die situation. It becomes a yes or no. Either I will or I won't, because there's no other option. I'll either have to live the rest of my life as a loser in mediocrity, or I will live the rest of my life as a success, as a respectable man, as somebody who everybody admires, but most importantly, somebody who I look up to.
I will say, because we talked about this briefly before, that there is some benefit in hitting rock bottom. Because either you're going to fucking kick the bucket, or you're going to say fuck it and find a way to pull yourself up. We've done it. We've met people as well who got to that point and decided to change their whole lives around, and now they're successful. So if you're too comfortable right now, you're probably not going to produce anything of value. You have to be uncomfortable. You have to feel the pain. You have to suffer a little bit in order to get to the goal. You don't get to the goal by just sticking your hand in the dirt and picking something up. You're not going to get that fucking lucky. Oh, no. You're going to have to fucking work your ass off. Mind the fuck out of that shit until you fucking stumble upon some gold. And most people give up when they're this far away.
And not only that, you don't really hit gold ores. You just get little grains of gold sand, and they're not even pure. So it doesn't come all at once.
Right. So if you're expecting things to just be handed to you without the fucking suffering, without the pain, without hitting rock bottom, it's not gonna fucking happen for you. You have to go through that shit. You have to love that shit. That fucking pain that you're feeling, you have to be friends with it. Because the more that you get used to that feeling, the more you get used to going through some bullshit, the you get closer to the things that you want in life. Because again, the things that you want in life are on the other side of that pain and adversity. And if you're just doing things that make you comfortable, if you're just hanging out on the weekends, if you're just fucking living the fucking life that everybody told you to live, and you know that's not the life that you should be living. When you get 60, 80, 90, you know, you're going to look back and say, damn, I wish. But what about if you said, damn, I did that? Most people don't think about tomorrow. Most people don't think about 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years from now. But if you're lucky enough or unlucky enough to live that far, you're going to have to ask yourself, did I do all the things that I said I was going to do? And you'll have to live with that, and you'll have to die with that. And I'll tell you what I'm living with, and I'll tell you what I'm dying with. It's not with a whole bunch of regrets, and it's not with a pity party because I didn't do the things that I said that I was going to do. Like y'all, I'm going to do what I say. I'm going to do what I mean. And that's why we'll get the things that most of y'all won't get.
Oh man, I just got the next podcast topic, and it's a petty one.
Oh, of course it is.
The AM Club Podcast.
Signing out.
Mic check.
The AM Club Podcast.